feel about what, Dre?
You said he gonna ask us.
You know, like y'all shake your hands and stuff now. The little kids are putting belts and hitting the people, like it's hitting them on their butt when they go by. You know that, you know people say we just put their ass now. And they come to that shit go fly. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Never would have tried that shit on us.
What?
Courage would have let her loose.
Always.
Y'all done whooped our butt.
But you know where they come from, though? No, nobody respect nobody.
Parents, they come from no parents.
Yeah, the parents don't respect nobody.
The respect level in youth football is crazy.
It's crazy because
body cams and
anything goes. Like you said, we were coming up, boy, it would have been a melee. Welcome to the Coach's Corner podcast. I'm Coach Tim. I got my brother with me, Simo.
What's up?
All right. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button. We need your support. Today's first topic, youth football sponsorship. I had my live on. I had a couple coaches come on in to give some great suggestions on how to obtain how to obtain sponsorship. Like my boy Coach Wiz said, paperwork. When I broke down paperwork, when he say have your paperwork together, he mean make sure your organization is 501c3 incorporated.
Explain what 501c3 is.
It's thank you so much. It's a non-profit organization. That's just the code and the title. You have to pay your taxes on it every year to keep it up to date. That would afford your organization or your team to receive funds from whatever said organization. And they get a tax break on whatever corporation that gives you money. I'm glad you broke that down because a lot of coaches coming in don't know that. Like they coming in with whatever money that they got in their piggy bank and they go broke and they upset. No, a lot of people can fund, and that's another good thing. And I want you to chime in on this too. At North Decatur, where I grew up at, we had banners on top of banners on top of banners where people was donating to the organization. I mean, just an estimate, it used to be 100 banners. And think about it, if people donate $1,000 per banner, that'll cover your whole season. And you have a contract with that organization, that company or whatever, and say, can you give $1,000 every year? And we got a contract. This is what we're gonna give you in return on donating $1,000 toward our organization. I mean, our whole park really got built by donation. Decline. Mo, what was it like at Griffith Park?
It was the exact same thing. You know, you got your donations. You know, from the community. It was built on the community. Like Gresham Park was built on our community. You know what I'm saying? The barbershops, you know, the mom and pop stores, you know, the grocery store, where you shop at every day, they supported the team, the local team. And that's how we raised our money.
And what that says about our society, because I'm going to tell you right now, when I first got into coaching 2005, 6, I went to the local McDonald's. And I said, went to the manager, I said, I have a football organization. We would like for you guys to help sponsor us, give back. First thing the manager said, oh, we don't do that no more. So I was like, wow, okay. I said, was there anything we can do? She was like, y'all can do a car wash in the parking lot. I was like, okay. I said, okay, thank you. Then I went to the Chick-fil-A. Almost the same exact response. And then I went to a clothing company on Beaver Highway.
So let me ask you this. Why you think it didn't change?
Okay, now we're gonna get into it. Let me get into it though. As far as we talking about not just restaurants, clothing stores, and it was an electronic company, say they don't do it no more. The reason why I think it has changed because back in the day, people was frowned upon from the city officially. If you didn't give back to that organization, that park or rec organization in the community, it was a time limit for you to be in that area. Like if you didn't support the youth organization, like they didn't want your business on their real estate. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, our whole society is, well, they'll figure it out. And which is really wrong. And what are we saying to the youth? The youth don't matter. The next generation, we really don't have to support them. And that's sad. And I think if we can get some change in how we think mentally, socially, I believe they'll start back giving change. I think we need to give incentives on podcasts like these to say, okay, we're gonna highlight the different companies who support youth football and give them a shout out. Because right now, I'm telling you, I'm on the corner with a bucket in my hand, asking for a donation. Not saying it's bad, but that's what it really came down to. Unless you know somebody, a friend, just gonna give you money and understand it's non-profit, you're gonna get your money back. So, I mean, that's my answer. I mean, what's your feedback on it? What's your take on why people don't give like they used to?
I think it's like, you know, like I don't want to speak on the coaches because I ain't, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to talk down on nobody, but
No, we gonna talk
my
down.
coaches just seem so different than these young coaches today. Like, and I feel like these people don't want to represent these teams because I don't really think, like, we had that unity at Gresham Park. Like, I don't see the unity in this park football situation like it used to be. And I think that's why I don't think the companies want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of how I feel. Like, I don't know if these young coaches really know how to go in there and present their team.
Hey, I think you hit on a great point. And I think education plays a big part.
Right. Just because you can coach football, that don't mean you know how to go in there and
Present yourself in order to get funds for your team.
Right.
You know what? That's major.
Right.
That's why I got my brother on here, because he hitting on stuff that I ain't even really thought about, but it's absolutely true. And we were just talking about a good friend of ours in his late 40s, walking around with his pants hanging down, we call them pants on the ground. Not to mention this youth now, where we so free that we do any and everything we want to do. But these corporations still looking at us like, you don't have business attire coming in the building.
Correct.
So how can I respect you?
Right.
And how can I give you money where you don't look like you're going to do right by the money?
Correct.
If you look like somebody that's, I ain't going to put no title, if you look like somebody who's not going to do right by the money, what in God's green earth think somebody gonna get some money? Like, that don't make sense.
Fact.
So yeah, I mean, your appearance do matter. We have no discipline, for one, to where you gotta have discipline enough to understand when you want something, you must change in order to get it.
Right.
And our youth don't feel like they have to change. They don't feel like they have to speak in a English manner or a vernacular to where somebody can understand you. And I'm from the hood. Like, I had to go on there, they were like, well, that's being fake. No, that's talking the language. In football, that's another thing. In football, you're going to have language in football. This don't mean you being fake. You got to understand how to change it to where you can be presentable to any corporation to say, hey, my team or organization need funding. Do you mind helping? So that's a great way. Give me another topic.
I want to ask you how you feel about the state of youth football at this point right now, 2024. Like, how you feel about it? Like, with the internet, the parents on the internet, the ranking of the kids, you know, the kids with the microphones on them doing the game, you know, the kids celebrating shooting guns and, you know, kicking the door in, doing robberies on the field. Like, how you feel about that? Like, you know, like, let me know what you think the state of this game at right now. Do I want to invest my money in your child if you out here letting your child shoot guns on the field? Like
at a young age.
At any age.
At any age. Yeah, you're right. I mean, guns, period, in children's hands is
fake guns. You know what I'm just saying? The fact that you let them imitate doing stuff like that is what I'm saying. Not a real gun show.
But still,
imitating guns on the field.
Imagery is everything.
Right.
Like you said, they don't really have to be fake. It's just you have a gun assimilating you're about violence, when that's far from what we want our children to be.
When kids go touchdown, when I was young, you gave the ball to the referee, or you did celebrate, or you did a knee, or you did something like that. It wasn't none of that gun shooting stuff. So, I just said, where you think the state of the game is at right now?
My opinion, I'm glad you asked me. My opinion, reason why we doing this, my opinion is the state of football is in bad shape. And that's why I asked Coach Beasley, what would you add or take away from youth football? But when you speak about the rankings, understand the rankings is good but you can't carry it to high school. And people gonna argue up and down. Well, at least somebody gonna know who you are. When you go to practice and you spend them 2 hours at practice, they gonna know who you are. But a lot of times these parents get caught up in rankings and see their kids on TV getting interviewed or being MVP or player of the game, and they want their child to be it. Listen, in youth football, everybody wins. Meaning, it's good that they even playing football. Half the time when they get to be 13, 14 years old, when they get to high school, they burned out. You don't want to burn football out. That's another thing that we do in our society. We put too much pressure on these young kids to be stars right now.
That's what they're ranking is. That's what I'm talking about. Being ranked and all that stuff. That is a problem for a child.
It's a big problem with
You got kids looking at that stuff themselves.
Okay, not to mention, do you understand the statistic? In Georgia, the literacy rate is high. Meaning they can't even read and write, but you goddamn, you want your child to be the #1 player in 9U when he can't read and write. He don't know how to spell cat. Like, come on now, make it make sense. They can't even tie their shoes. At 12, 13 years old, that's embarrassing. And I'm not pointing out no other kid, but I'm finna bring in Sid, and I want Sid to explain some of the things in youth football that might need to be changed or his person was able to join. Okay, technical issue.
I just don't really understand, ranking a child. It really don't make any sense to me.
Ranking child. It's the new age at the end of the day. The new age, which is good, it's always good and bad in everything. What it does in the ranking the child, it gives him a measuring tape on where he at. And it could be true, it could be false. But it gives him a measuring tape on his classification, whether it be 8U, 9U, 10U. How can he compete, or how should he compete on any given day? The rankings of teams, they're just like we played Cream, and they was the number 3 or 4 team in the state. I understood I had to get my stuff together.
But team ranking and ranking a child is two different things. Ranking in high school is based on going to the playoff. Ranking a child is being based on nothing because it's not going to help you in no way. It's going to make kids envy your child. It's not going to help you in no way. Ain't no high school looking at your child ranking. Because when you get on that field, it's guys who's ranked #1 that's going to go out there and not be able to compete at that next level.
That's true. That's true.
So you can be glorified and you can have all them rankings all you want, but when it's time to scrap that thing up and get at that next level in high school, things going to change. But I just think it's just more on the parents and the coaches. I don't really think the kids care. That was my point about it.
Yeah.
I don't really think the kids care.
To me, it's not a big deal, and I get what you're saying. The only thing I was trying to agree with the rankings is just give them something to look at. But it's not really, really important. It really ain't. That's beside the point. The point is to teach your child fundamental football and get it ready for the next level, which is the high school.
There you go.
And that's when it really, really matters. A lot of times our parents put too much emphasis on these rankings. That's is taking a negative toll on that child.
And the team.
That definitely is the team. Right now, we're going to bring in another guest. Kibo, come on in. Another Gresham Park legend. Tell the people who he is. Who are you?
Keith Jones.
Okay.
What's going on?
What they call you though?
They call me Kibo.
Okay. This is what I want you to do. Tell me your experience playing youth football at Gresham Park.
Experience playing football at Gresham Park, man. Something different. It was different, man. It's nothing like they got going on today with all family. Growing up, the coach we had, he always taught us, how to be a man. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Our coaches were definitely our father figures in our life when I was growing up. So people who didn't have a father in their life, Gresham Park, like I say, it was just totally different ball game. They taught us, when we went to high school. By the time we got to high school, we was already ready to play.
And that's what we were just talking about the last segment on. It's really about the next level.
Yeah, right.
It's really about the next level. And right now we got out of whack on these kids want to live to be a superstar right there at the age of 6.
For no reason.
They gonna really, majority of them gonna get burnt out once they turn 15.
Yep.
So right there, why not at least make it fun? Okay, Kibo, tell me some coaches' names at Gresham Park that you really thought was amazing to you.
Oh man. One main coach, Coach Reggie.
Oh, Reggie.
Reginald Williams.
Reginald Williams.
Rest in peace, Coach Reggie.
Rest in peace, Coach Reggie.
Amazing man.
Okay. Do you want to add anything before you get off or before you leave?
That's a negative.
That's a negative?
You know, the only thing I want to add is that in my day, this was North Cal guy.
Yeah,
These two guys you just talking to, we Gresham Park guys.
that's right.
Guess who we think? Who we know is number one back there. Gresham Park.
Hey, that's a good ending. hey, listen, Mo, what we gonna do is we're gonna have some legends from other organizations because it just can't be a North Cal Gresham Park thing. We're gonna have some Tucker guys on here, some North Clayton, Jonesboro, Riverdale. We're gonna have some younger guys come on too.
We only got a few more minutes, man. I want to ask one more question.
Go ahead. Come on, man.
I got one more thing I want to know. I want to know, you know, just you being a coach for so long, Showtime, I want to know what you think we can improve this thing, man. How can we get this youth football thing, you know, back on the track how it was, like, you know, when we played, man, like you said, like Kibo just said, we were made in the men. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about who had the best spat or who had the longer tower or who had the visor. Man, we were all out there in unified, you know, unity, like, you know, it was just totally different. Like, you know, it was a machine, you know what I'm saying? It was ran like a machine, you know what I'm saying? And everybody had their part. So I want to let you know, what can you think?
My suggestion, and that's a great question. My suggestion would be unity. Right now, the parents who bring their child to the park, I don't really see family. And another thing that's killing the culture of youth football, we charging them. Like, do you understand them $5 and $10 for a child to come into the park, a parent of 5, say a parent have 5 kids, 5, 10, 15, 10, that's $25 plus the parent, that's 30. If dad come, that's $35. In our economy, inflation is real. Who can afford to pay $40 to come see their child play? In park ball. Like, that is
I just learned something today.
That's really killing the culture. Like, it's no way. Okay, if you have a parent, if you have a family that has 5 kids, that's $35 each Saturday entering the game. Not to mention in youth football, you have 2 kids and they play at 2 different parks. So you gotta pay to go to 2 different parks to support your child.
That's amazing.
Like, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't understand that, breaking down the culture of we all at the park the whole day. I'm watching Kibo, 65 pounds. I'm watching Simo, 85 pounds. The next game, 135, 110, 140. We there the whole day. And that's what built the chemistry.
That's
now, you got to travel. You got more than 3 kids. You got to travel to 3 different parks in order to support your child. And then you got to pay. Like, who can afford that? Not to mention a single black parent or single white, whoever you are. Like, that's killing youth football.
Next time we're gonna elaborate on that a little bit more, but we're gonna close this thing out right here today. I want to tell y'all, thank y'all, it's Chaz and
Coach Tim.
We want to tell y'all, appreciate for coming out to the Culture Podcast and giving us an opportunity to give y'all a little knowledge, a little thing that we think gonna help y'all out in the future. And thank y'all again.
We out.
We out.
Find me in the hood, it's all good. Pulling up slow, gripping diamonds against the wood, something fine.